So, you're a founder, you've got a world-changing idea, but you hit that first big wall, funding. You've got the passion, you've got the plan, but every grant application asks for one thing you don't have, that 501c3 status. The official nonprofit seal of approval from the IRS. So how in the world do you get the resources you need to get off the ground now? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
I mean, this is the classic chicken and egg problem, isn't it? You need money to build your organization, but you need an organization to get the money. It can feel like you're completely locked out of the game before you even start. But what if I told you there was a kind of back door?
When you're standing at this crossroads, you really have two main choices. On one side, you've got what we'll call the fast track, which is fiscal sponsorship. And on the other, you've got the long game, going through the whole process of forming your very own nonprofit. We're going to dive into both of these paths so you can figure out which one makes the most sense for your vision. All right, let's talk about the fast track first. The huge, glaring appeal here is speed. Seriously, we're talking about becoming eligible to receive major grants in just a few weeks, instead of the many, many months it takes to get that official letter from the IRS. But how does it actually work?
At its core, fiscal sponsorship is a pretty straightforward arrangement. You find an established, tax-exempt nonprofit, this is your sponsor, and they agree to basically take your project under their legal wing. They become the official home for your work, which lets you use their 501c3 status to go after grants. Now, this part is absolutely crucial to understand. The grant money doesn't come directly to you. Legally, it's awarded to your sponsor. They get the funds, and then, based on your agreement, they release that money to your project. And in return for that service, they handle all the complicated legal and tax stuff that would normally be a massive headache for you. Okay, but you know how it goes. With any shortcut, there's always a price to pay. And this speed and convenience, well, they don't come for free. It is so important to understand the trade-offs you're making here because they can have a huge impact on your project down the road. The most obvious cost is the administrative fee. Your sponsor is going to take a cut of every single dollar you raise, usually somewhere between 5 and 15%. This fee covers their work, sure, but believe me, it adds up fast. And this is where the long-term cost just slaps you in the face. Let's say you raise $75,000 a year. That 10% fee, over 5 years, that's $37,500. Now, compare that to the roughly $2,500 it costs one time to form your own nonprofit. The math is pretty stark, right? Sponsorship can end up costing you more than full independence after just 1 year. But the cost, it isn't just about the money. Not even close. The single biggest trade-off is control. Because the sponsor is the legal entity, their board of directors has the final say on everything. And this is the kicker. They often legally own everything you create under their roof. Your brand, your curriculum, your entire program model. Legally, it's all theirs. So let's just recap the real costs here. You're not just paying a fee. You are trading away your autonomy. You're giving up legal control and, yes, ownership of your own intellectual property. And since the sponsor is the official one getting the grant, your relationships with funders are always indirect. You're building their network, not necessarily your own. So what's the alternative to all that? Well, it's the long game, fighting for total independence by forming your very own 501c3. It takes a lot longer, no question about it, but the payoff can be absolutely massive. The rewards of independence are basically the mirror image of the costs of sponsorship. You get full control over your mission. You own all of your assets and IP. You get to build direct, personal relationships with your funders. And, maybe best of all, 100% of every dollar you raise goes to your mission, not to a third party's admin fee. Okay, so sponsorship is fast, but it's costly, and you give up control. Independence is the dream, but it's slow. So the question isn't really which one is better. The real question is, which one is smarter for your specific situation right now? Let's build a little framework to help you decide. So when does it actually make strategic sense to take that fast track? When is paying that fee and giving up all that control actually the right move to make? It turns out sponsorship can be a brilliant strategic choice in 4 key situations. Number 1, you've got extreme timeline urgency, like grant deadlines are looming in the next couple of months. 2, you're just testing an idea and you're not ready to commit to a full organization yet. 3, your project is temporary by design with a clear end date. And 4, you just plain lack the capacity. Maybe you're an all-volunteer team and can't handle the admin burden yet. But hold on. What if you need that speed right now, but you still want that independence down the road? This is where the most savvy founders land. It's a hybrid strategy that really does give you the best of both worlds.
I mean, think about it. What if you didn't actually have to choose? What if you could get the immediate funding that comes with the fast track and the long-term freedom of the long game? Well, you can. Here's how this hybrid path works. You start right away under a fiscal sponsor, so you can chase those urgent grants. But at the exact same time, you begin the application for your own 501c3. You keep operating and fundraising through your sponsor during that whole 6 to 12-month waiting period from the IRS. And then, the moment you get that approval letter, you transition everything over to your new independent organization. And this strategy is just so powerful. Why? 1, you don't miss out on funding while you're stuck in limbo. 2, you still get to your ultimate goal of total autonomy and control. And 3, you dramatically shrink the total cost, since you're only paying those sponsorship fees for a short period of time. You're using sponsorship as a strategic bridge, not a permanent home. So that's the real question you have to ask yourself for your vision. What role should fiscal sponsorship play? Is it a permanent solution that fits your project? Or is it just a temporary bridge to get you to where you really want to go, full independence? The answer to that will define your entire path forward.